today I'm going to show you what we are working on this week, okay? We will be creating a paper that has our name on it in a really cool or interesting font, and then we will be adding in color or designs to the background. Now, the first thing that I want to show you when you're creating a piece of art, especially if it has your name on it or any word on it, you want to think about how you're placing things out, because part of art is planning. Okay, so we're looking ahead, we're planning ahead and looking at, what the possibilities are, how can we avoid the things that we don't want to happen with our art piece. Okay, we're not just doing it randomly or necessarily free spiritedly all the time. Okay, there is some planning involved, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to think about, a lot of times when people are writing something down, or they're creating a piece of artwork that has a word on it, okay, it can be really hard to make sure that you have things centered so that everything has its own space. Okay, so for example, if I were going to write the word architecture, which is a nice long word, I might start off here with a nice big letter. Okay, and then a lot of times, so I start writing it, and then I realize, oh no, I'm barely halfway through, and then I have to squish everything. Okay, you guys have probably had that same issue. And if you notice, so I have this kind of weird shape where it kind of tapers down. Okay, and that's not really what we want to go for. I want everything to be nice and spaced out, and I don't want to make it super tiny. I don't want to write something super small. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to look at my word architecture, and I want to see how many letters I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of letters. 12 letters. Okay, and I'm going to count. So half of 12 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this would be kind of my dividing point. Okay, so I would have archit on one side and extra on the other side. Now, if you were dealing with a word that had an odd number of letters, because this is even, right? This is 12. Okay, an odd number of letters like the word architect, that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters. You would find what the middle letter would be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be the letter I right here. Okay, so if I were to write out the word architecture, I would want to make sure that I had space on both sides of this here. And if I was writing the word architect, I would make sure that my I was in the very center. And I'll show you what this looks like here. Okay, so say that this is my paper that I'm working on, right? And you'll want to work on a piece of paper probably from your sketchbook or something that is similar in size, right? So if you have printer paper at home, that would work as well. Okay, but you're going to have a line going down here. And I'm going to show you two words on here. I'm going to show you both architect and architecture. Okay, so for yourself, you would just have your name in the very center. But usually what I like to do is I like to draw guidelines above and below, right? So this is going to be for my first word, and this is going to be for my second word. Okay, and so say that I was writing the word architecture. Well, on the back here, I know that everything up to the T needs to be able to be on one side, and everything else after that needs to be able to be on the right side. Okay, so what I might do is some people like to start here and work backwards. I think that since I know I have a smaller space to work in, I'm going to go ahead and start over here. And I'm just going to draw lightly. That way, in case I mess up, I can fix it, right? So say that I'm writing this out so lightly, right? So I have R. Ooh, see, and I still need to go back and fix that. Hold on just a second. All right, hooray for writing lightly, right? Okay, let's try that again. So I'm going to make my letter A a little bit thinner. Same thing with my letter R, put them a little bit closer. There we go. So I made my first 6 letters here, and then I can continue on with the rest of my word. Right, so then I can fit it all in there and it all has nice spacing to itself. Okay, now if I was doing the word architect, like we talked about right over here, that has an odd number of letters, my letter I would be in the very center, right? So if I were going to make this into block letters or bubble letters, right, my letter I would probably be right in the very center here like this. Okay, and then I could work left to right, however makes the most sense for me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my ARCH on the side, right? So I'm going to, and again, I want to make sure that it's not, so A, oh, man, I keep doing that. Okay, so I penciled in the rest of this so that I could make this into my block letters here. Now for this, you can choose any interesting font that you want, as long as we can read it, of course. And you are writing your name. I guess I made my I a little bit on the thicker side, huh? Right, we all make mistakes. So you would fill out the rest of your letters like so. Okay, so that's how you create something that is more evenly placed. Okay, I am going to bring my example into the picture and we'll talk about our next steps. Okay, so I have my pencil already laid out, and you don't have to do this next step, but you can if you want to. I'm going to outline mine in Sharpie, just my letters here, so it's a little bit easier to see, and then erase all of my guidelines that I drew for myself. Okay, so once you have your name outlined, like I do here, okay, you are going to choose one of these two options, okay? So you can do a super colorful letters, like so your name can be done super colorfully with some Zentangle backgrounds, or if you would rather have a super colorful background, you can do that. I chose to go in and shade my letter in a little bit with a gray colored pencil to kind of help it pop so that it doesn't look incomplete. Okay, so you're going to choose either of these options for your name. Again, you're going to be using colored pencils. We want to make sure they're nice, bright, good coloring. Okay, please make sure that it's not super scratchy looking coloring. And you also want to make sure that you're using colored pencils instead of a Sharpie. A Sharpie is fine for the outline, okay, but please do not use a Sharpie to color this in or to do the background. Okay, I would prefer you to use colored pencils for this. Okay, so once you are finished with that, you can turn it in on Canvas if you were working on this out of school. Okay, and that's it.